Hey, I'm Katie Miller, a course creation coach and social media strategist navigating business, motherhood, and life while calling BS along the way. If you are tired of the overwhelming amount of information we have access to these days and are confused about where to even begin, you're in the right place. Join me as I talk with small business owners to sort it all out and give some tips to move your business forward. Welcome back to this very special episode of Katy Calls BS. It is the 100th episode, which is crazy to think about because I don't know that I ever thought I would get to 100 episodes when I started this, because it started as sort of this fun side project. And I honestly started it on a whim because I started on a random Friday in April to release on Fridays, still weekly, and I would take breaks during the summer. I didn't take a break this summer because I changed up the style a little bit and we went with shorter episodes, and I wanted to reach the milestone of 100 episodes and still put out quality content for you. The podcast, though, hasn't changed much in terms of the mission. The mission to call out BS is still the same in the online business space. I came from the network marketing world, experienced the hey girl message era, the wash your face time. We all remember that time. The messages that we needed to build our lists to grow our businesses. The time when everybody needed a course, like that's what we were told. Everybody needed to have a course in their business. I don't think that's true. And I'm a course person. That's my job, is to build courses for people. I don't believe that. In my least favorite time, the bro marketing. The structure and mission of Katy Calls BS has stayed the same since the very beginning. Before it was even a podcast and when we did a live series, the structure and mission has always been the same. The style has changed just a little bit, but we call out BS, but we will always leave you with what to do about it. Because nothing makes me crazier than leaving something and not knowing what to do with that information. This comes from countless trainings that I attended where I left with notebooks full of notes, or I was excited about the speaker and I learned so much, and then I had no idea what to do afterwards. I just needed some direction, 3 steps or just something to do, so overwhelmed by the information that I just got, but then I didn't know which way to turn. So that's where the practical steps that you get in our episodes comes from. It's the same way I run my business. I remember one training that I went to, really, it's kind of what sparked the start of my business as well, is what started Miller Social, was going to a training when I was doing network marketing. It was the start of when video was becoming big on social media. This is Facebook days. It's been a while. But when video was starting to get big, and there was a speaker who was super comfortable in front of the camera, really just, it was natural for her. And she said, just get in front of the camera and do videos, and just start talking about it. It's so easy. It's no problem, right? And I sat there no, it's not easy. It's not easy for everybody. What about the people who hate being in front of the camera? What about the people who doubt everything that they say? What about the people who the thought of even turning the camera on themselves makes them want to vomit? What about those people? It's not easy for those people. What are they supposed to do? Now, you're giving advice to people to just get in front of the camera. I don't see what the problem is. It was such a disconnect that it made me so mad when I left. That is what started the idea for Miller Social when I started to do social media marketing, because I was so frustrated by that sort of message that we're supposed to just go out there and just do the things. It's so easy, right? From all these experts and gurus and these people who have been in the game longer. But it's not that easy for everybody, because not everybody feels that way. And not everybody feels it. We forget that sometimes because it's so easy for us, the expert, the person who does this every day. We forget that a lot of the times. That for us, it's really easy, but for someone who's just learning this, or someone else, may not be as comfortable. When I started my business and when I started Katy Calls BS, I always keep it a priority to give tips, to give practical steps. What do you do next? In my business, I want what I do, what I teach, to apply to you in your business. Not here's the method, go do my method. I hope it works for you. Good luck. That's not how I operate. And it's the same with the podcast. Not everything is going to work for you in your business. When they used to be take what works and leave what resonates. I understood, take what works and leave what resonates. But then I was I want to do these things. I just don't know how to get there. I don't know how to do this in a way that makes sense for me. And when we got those messages of you need to do XYZ to grow your business, or you need to do XYZ, we see these messages online for our businesses and the way we're supposed to grow, or we're supposed to do this, or we're supposed to do that. It's so easy to get caught up in that we forget that we're supposed to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Because you see all this, like, we're supposed to do this, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that. And you're like, oh, but maybe that's what I do to get ahead. And that's what I do to make money. Or that's what I need to do because I haven't had any sales for a while and I need to do that. Or I'm frustrated right now. Maybe I should try that. Because all those people are seeing success with it. So we chase after the shiny thing, but it doesn't work because we forget that we're the ones that need to remember what works for us. But we chase after the shiny stuff all the time. I know we're all guilty of it, so it's okay. But not everything is going to work for you in your business. And thinking of back to the beginning of Katy Calls BS, when it was a live series, the idea of this whole thing remained consistent because it was so frustrating to see that for myself and my friends in business, where we would chase after these things and we weren't seeing the same results, and the feeling that came with that, the feelings of failure, the feelings of frustration, the feelings of like, what the hell went wrong? I just did what that person did. Why didn't I see the success? I'm calling all of that out because I was like, something has to give here. Can we not do this over and over again? Why are these people out here just pushing this message that, oh, you didn't do it right? I told you to go do 3 reels a day. You didn't do the right reels. You did 3 reels, but you didn't do the right ones. That's why it didn't work. You did your own thing. You weren't supposed to do your own thing. You were supposed to follow my trend. That's BS. That's not how it works. Because you put your own little individual twist on it, that's why it went wrong. That's what gets me so frustrated with this stuff, and why I keep doing this show, why I keep calling stuff out. And when I switched things over to talking about digital products, it's the same thing. When people started talking about courses and telling, like a few years ago when everybody was like, you need to have a course. Everybody should have a course. No, they don't. Today, we're going to talk about the biggest lies I used to believe, the biggest BS beliefs I believed in what I know now, because we've called BS 100 times at this point, and we're not going to stop. Over 100 times if we include the lives that we did before the podcast was officially official. That's a lot of BS in the business space. I don't think it's going to stop. The first BS belief is that you need a big audience to make money. This comes from the email marketing time and the follower count. The follower count was everything, and everybody was like, we need to get to 10,000 to get the swipe. I can't with it. When you're growing your email list and having a big follower count, remember when that was the standard of success? Like, is your email list. Oh, you have a big follower account? Oh my gosh, they got to 10,000. That's super exciting. Or I had people who would reach out to me and wanted to work with me as a social media strategist. And they were like, okay, but when can we get to 1,000 and 15K and 20K? How fast are you going to be able to get me there? What's the goal though? Why do you need to get there? What's that going to do for you? Because both of those things, growing your email list just to grow your email list and having a large follower account, are BS. Because what you actually need are a good message. You need to tweak your language to actually appeal to the right people. And you need to have a clear solution. That's it. You don't need to have a massive number, because the people with the most massive numbers on social media don't necessarily have the best conversion. They don't necessarily have the highest sales. You need to look at the people who are actually authentic in what they do. Also, did those people have a leg up in their business? Did they have help? Did they have someone that got them there faster, that they were connected to in some way? Did they have someone that could boost them and get them started? Or versus you that are maybe like starting from scratch? You didn't get an influx of 5,000 followers because your mother's brother's uncle could infuse followers. You couldn't do a share like that. Oh, this famous person could then go tell all of their friends to follow this other person who's now just starting. Go follow my friend. Okay, well, this person who had 20,000 followers just said go follow my friend. Guess what? 20,000 followers, friend, just infused their friend, like all of their followers who are like, oh my God, yes, I'll do anything that you tell me to do. Well, their friend is going to get a huge influx of followers, right? We don't all have that. And just because they got that influx doesn't mean all those people are now going to convert into clients. Okay? That's BS number one. My most favorite example of this, there's two examples of this, but the first is there was an influencer with over 2.6 million followers on various platforms. That's a lot of followers to have. You'd think that that was good conversion. She had a product launch, invested a ton of money in her product launch. It was a clothing line. I've shared this before, so if you've listened to past episodes, you've heard me talk about this. She couldn't even sell enough t-shirts to meet the minimum. 2.6 million followers across platforms and couldn't meet the minimum to sell t-shirts. That's one example. Another was a male content creator with over 400,000 followers on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube, who despite averaging 100,000 views per video, his earnings for 2023 were lower than what you would expect them to be. So just because someone has a high number of followers, they might have like high views, all the things that we would expect doesn't mean that they have a successful business. BS number 2, more modules or more content equals more value. This is a common one when we see courses, content, all of it. Remember when the bro marketers were telling us to post every day? Or post multiple times a day, or do like multiple reels a day, or reels were blowing up and we needed to do 1 million a day or 1 million a week, and like you just needed to do more to be more visible. And I still get the Facebook memories from when I posted 3 times a day during my network marketing time. What a time to be alive that was. So many quote graphics and so many random pics of my coffee mugs. And while I still share that kind of thing, that's how coffee became part of my branding, honestly. But the key is quality to both of those. Quality in your course content, if you're doing a course, quality in your content in general. It can't be crap. It has always been and will always be quality over quantity. The reason we were told to post 50, 11 times a day was because everyone and their mother's aunt's sister was in network marketing. So there was this sea of noise on social media. We forgot about the social part of social media. We forgot to just share about our life. When everybody was selling things, people are still selling things now, but we forgot to be social. We were just showing things to show things, to post things because we needed to stay top of mind. We needed to stay top of mind so that we could sell our stuff. But the thing is, people want results. They want results. At the end of the day, they don't care that they see more content from you. They don't care that they saw the dancing video or that they saw you doing something crazy. What they want to see is that you know how to do what you do. That's what they want to see. They just want the results. They don't need more lessons. They don't need more content in your digital product. They don't need more crap from you. They just want to know that your stuff is good. You don't need to keep adding things because something didn't sell. Figure out why it didn't sell. Did you promote it enough? Did you talk about it enough? Did you share it to your email list, no matter how big it is? Did you share it all the places? Figure out what else went wrong, because if the content is good, that's not the problem. You don't need to add more to it, add more freebies. You don't need to add all the things to it because the content needs to be good in the first place. If you make the content good in the first place, then you don't need to go back and change the content later. That's BS number 2. BS number 3. This is a hot topic, and I've done a few episodes about this. Here's the BS, that burnout is a part of success, that burnout is a badge of honor. It's not. Burnout and hustle, these two kind of go together. And I've done a few episodes talking about burnout and hustle. It was especially challenging when I was a social media strategist and my creativity was absolutely shot for months when I had burnout. It's not something to be excited about or brag about. Hustling is not a badge of honor for me. People are like, oh my gosh, I've been hustling forever. I work 24 hours a day. I became an entrepreneur and now I work 20 hours a day. I didn't become an entrepreneur to work that much. I didn't become an entrepreneur to work more hours in the day. I became an entrepreneur so that I would have flexibility. I didn't want to work from home so that I would end up working more. Do I work harder? Probably, but I don't want to work more hours. The whole idea was that I would have the flexibility and the ownership over what I'm doing. I've seen more people work themselves into misery, which is not what starting a business is all about. We did not start a business to be miserable. Burnout is the tax for doing it the hard way. Burnout is what happens when you don't listen to yourself. Burnout is what happens when you don't know when to stop or when to ask for help or when to pause, or you don't have really great boundaries. We all have to learn this, I guess. We all have to go through the crappy clients. We have to go through the demanding clients. We have to go through the time when we're doing too much in our business and we're overwhelmed and then we just stop. Those times are really hard because we do too much, which leads me to BS number 4, that you have to do it alone. I know that we want to figure it out alone. I know, because we're entrepreneurs. We want to know how the systems work. We want to know how the programs run. We want to build all the things ourselves first before we hire someone. We want to know what it takes. We want to know how it all works before we hire someone, because we want to know if we're hiring someone that we're paying them good money and what we're paying them for, because what if we have to take care of it? We need to know how it works. I know, I get it. But if it takes us a couple hours or 47 YouTube videos, the truth is that's a waste of time for us. We could be spending our time doing other things. The truth is collaboration, mentorship, investing in people who are actually experts in these things that we're trying to do ourselves that we have no business doing or we don't know how to do them. Investing in those people will get you there faster. Stop trying to do everything alone and keeping all the dollars for yourself. I know we all want to keep the dollars all to ourselves and we want to keep all the money to ourselves. And it's hard to invest when you feel like you haven't made the money yet, especially at the beginning when you're like, I don't have anything yet. I don't have any clients. And how am I supposed to invest the money I don't have? I understand that. And people are like, you need to invest money to make money. Okay, to a degree, to a limit. Don't go spending $5,000 when you don't have $5,000. You don't need the fanciest computer to start. You don't need all the fancy stuff you don't need to do all the things at the beginning. What I'm saying is you don't need to spend all the time at the beginning. You don't need to have a website to start. You don't need that yet. You may not even know what your branding is all about. You may not even know what to put on your website. You can start small and easy and build from there. I am not someone who's going to go out and tell you to spend $10,000 to start up your business when you don't have any clients or money to do so. That is not at all what I'm going to tell you to do. I am going to tell you to go find a group of people or network with people where you can maybe trade some services. I don't want you to spend hours upon hours upon hours trying to build something for your business and not put it out there. Why are you going to wait weeks to try and put something out there? Throw up a website. Throw up a one-pager. I didn't have a website for years. I used what I use now for my course hosting platform. I used that as my website for years until I was ready to invest, until I had money and I was clear on what my brand was. That's when I invested in a brand and website designer. You don't have to do everything up front, but it did take me a minute to get there. What I invested in was following those people and starting to collaborate with those people, getting in their circle. What I invested in was coaches. I invested in masterminds because I needed to know where I was in business and who I was in business. It's finding those investments and getting you in that mentorship so that you know where to go. Should you start a course and build a course when you just started a business? No, do not do that. Do not build a course immediately. That makes zero sense. You don't have any clients. Who's going to buy it? What I mean is you need to find the right things to invest in. What can you do? What is worth your time? Invest in that. Do you have time and resources to invest in things? If you do, great. If you don't, let's figure out what is the best thing for you to invest in right now. What is worth your time? If you are like, I cannot do that at all, invest in that thing. Which brings me to my next one. The BS is that you can't launch until everything is perfect. I know this is going to get my perfectionists right in the guts because y'all like to make things perfect. I've had clients like this, I know, and friends like this, where everything, every detail, every idea has to be perfect. Your products, your website, your social media, it will never be perfect. It will never be perfect because we as humans are not perfect. We need to show that we are also human to our people. Our audience isn't going to relate to us being perfect. Our audience isn't going to relate when everything is absolutely tied up in a neat little bow and perfect. Should it be I'm not going to use the word professional because I don't like it. Should it be business looking like you're running a legitimate business? Yes, it should look like that. You don't want to just slap something that hasn't been edited up there legitimately. But I personally was never interested in the speakers, the presenters, the mentors who seemed to have everything together and totally put together, and they seemed like everything was normal. They didn't have a kid running through their background when they were presenting, or a cat who makes a whole lot of noise when they're recording a podcast. I didn't want that. I wanted someone who was going to be real, someone who was going to show me that this is life and you're building a business because that's what we are doing. That's what we're doing. That's who I related to. That's where I found my favorite mentors were the people who had a life, who were showing me that they weren't spending their entire day running their business, that they were going to run their kids places in the middle of the day because that's what I wanted to do too. That's part of why I started my business, was because I wanted the flexibility for my kids. I needed to find people who were also doing that. I didn't want someone who was sitting in an office all day telling me that I should cut everyone off in the world, because that's not who I am. You need to find the people who you're going to connect with. I found people who I could relate to. I will tell you, when you launch something, you are highly likely to change it later anyway. Or you're going to adjust something. It doesn't need to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. It needs to be done. It doesn't need to be sloppy, but it's not going to be perfect. Start embracing I think we're good. Start embracing that mentality. Not perfect, but I think we're good. It's good. Let's go. The messy action is better than taking zero action. Because what happens when we take zero action is we don't get our product out there. When we don't get our product out there, that means we don't get sales at all. You can sit on your idea. You can wait for the perfect time. You can wait for all the ideas to get organized in your brain. You can wait for the time when you finally have time to think about it, and you can sit down and your business isn't as busy, or you could think about it when your stuff isn't going on. But to be honest, is that ever going to happen? No. There's never going to be a perfect time. You can wait for that perfect time when you have it all figured out, or you can realize that perfect is never coming, because that's the truth. Perfect is not going to come. We should know that at some point as an entrepreneur, that perfect is not happening. Sales come from done. Sales come from something being out into the world, and you can change it later. People are not going to be mad if you have to change and update it later. Now, here's what I've learned in doing 100 episodes of a podcast. Don't be limited by the what ifs. There's going to be a lot of what ifs in your business. It's like the biggest personal development journey that you never wanted to be on. But the biggest surprises that you will come across, not what I expected, but here we are. Lose the expectations you have, because it's not going to go the way you think it's going to go. 2 years ago, I was married. So lose the expectations. Lose the expectations of what you think life is going to look like, how you think things are going to go. Let things evolve naturally. You need to put things out there. I didn't know what this show was going to look like in 100 episodes. I didn't know it was still going to be here. I didn't know we were going to do video episodes. Well, it started as a live show and it started with video episodes. I didn't know that we were going to be doing them now. I didn't know that we would do guest episodes. I didn't know all the things that have happened since I started the show. So lose the expectations, let things evolve. And for the biggest piece of advice I can give you about being a business owner, and if you start a project like this, be curious. You're going to learn new things along the way, and you might want to figure them out. You might want to hire people to do it for you. Either way, be curious about it. If it's frustrating, walk away. You don't need to be doing it right now. It's okay to walk away for a minute and come back to it. I still believe digital products are the smartest path for business owners, people who want time, flexibility, and ownership. I didn't say courses. I want to note that. I did not say everybody needs a course. I said digital products, which is different. What that looks like for everybody is very different. That does not always mean a physical thing like a workbook or a course or a mini course or workshop. That could mean a million different things. The key is finding what works for you in your business. I believe everybody has something that they can share. It just takes a little guts to get it out there. You have something to say. You have something to teach. My favorite thing is to help you figure out what that is and how we can get that out into the world. On that note, I'm just getting started. I'm sure we have a lot more BS to call in this world. There's a lot more that I would talk about, but I can't talk about all the things. And one day I will. One day I'll talk about all the things. But for now, we're going to keep it business related. But we have a lot more BS to call in this world. I don't know if it will take us 2 years to get to 200 or if it will take us a lot less. I'm not sure. But we're going to enjoy the ride as we learn and grow along the way. And I am so glad to have you along for the ride. Thank you for being here for this crazy journey of Katy Calls BS. I know the last 2 years have been a lot for me, but I appreciate you being here and I'm excited for what comes next. So buckle up. There's a lot more BS to be called. See you soon. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Katy Calls BS. You can find more information about our guest and Katy in the show notes below. Be sure to subscribe, share, and review, and don't forget to tag us.